David was a family man. He loved his family. He would help anybody that he could help. He was a quiet man, big quiet man, we used to call him.
David Addison Neel was a 49-year-old Zephyrhills dad, with 2 kids doing what he did best, taking care of family business for his wife Deborah and kids Ann and Joey. It was Sunday, March 6, 2005, at the annual Plant City Strawberry Festival, and time for the Neel kids to show their dairy cows.
We've all gone together. We were always there working together and enjoying it. And David was one that really loved it. He loved to eat.
David Neel had taken a cattle trailer to Pasco County. He was on his way back to the festival in his unique pickup truck on I-75 South to get back to his family.
10:25, we were talking on the phone, and he says, okay, I'll be there probably in a half an hour. So I said, okay. So I told him I loved him.
Minutes after Deborah talked to David, something went terribly wrong.
The truck run off the road and hit a tree. I-75 southbound near I-4, you said? Yes, sir. Is it on the exit ramp or is it on I-75? It's on the exit ramp. It's a silver and blue Ford.
At this point, they're thinking it's not accident related. They thought it was a heart attack, but possibly he's got a gunshot wound.
I know in processing it, the scene and trying to gather what information we could and to identify evidence, there was always this cell phone, and it was ringing throughout the whole investigation. And it kept calling back, and it kept calling back.
I started to call him, I guess about 11:30, and there was no answer. And that wasn't David. David always answered his cell phone, always.
And because we didn't have a contact immediately known for David, it finally got to a point where I'm going to go ahead and answer the phone to find out if I can get a contact for a next of kin for David. And it turned out it was Deborah calling.
It was Detective Bunton. Right there, I knew. You just know. And he told us that David had died and how it happened. And you're just in the daze after that. You know, it's just, I just remember being like this cloud, like a daze over you. You just sit there and you think, no way. One of the things that hits me the worst is, I think, and I start crying about this, is none of us were there to tell him goodbye, or to hold his hand. I'm sorry, I get upset about that. And he died by himself. No family members. Nothing. That was the hardest thing. I think knowing that he was there in that truck.
I'm Crystal Nunez with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Crime Stoppers of Tampa Bay is revisiting the shooting death of David Neel in hopes that someone has information that could lead detectives to a break in the case. For days, here in the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office Crime Lab, crime scene investigators and detectives pored over evidence they had in the case.
We closed up the Sheriff's Office garage, and we got a fog machine out there so that the laser light would show. So we had to fog the area so that the laser would show up really well for the photography portion. We actually used David's truck, and we towed that vehicle down I-75 to the I-4 exit. We towed it exactly the route that he traveled, and we lined it up with the laser out of the actual bullet hole with the trajectory rod. That's how we were able to make the determination finally where the shot would have come from.
Here is how detectives believe the shooting happened. Our computer graphics show how David Neel's truck may have looked on the morning of the shooting, March 6, 2005. David Neel was going south on I-75 and would soon be exiting at I-4. Ballistic evidence from the case says that whoever shot David shot from the left side of David's truck, just before or as he took the I-4 exit.
It happened just before 11 o'clock Sunday morning at I-4 and I-75.
The story of David Neel's shooting shocked residents and brought a flood of media attention.
You know, we are concerned about the apparent randomness of this crime.
Investigators walked a 4-mile stretch of road Sunday from Fowler Avenue to I-4 looking for evidence.
We had nothing other than a deceased man in a truck crashed off the interstate. And nobody saw anything. Nobody heard anything.
But we have no witnesses whatsoever to the actual shooting.
After 10 years, this case still remains a mystery.
What did David do? Or what was it? Was he driving too slow to kill him? Or was he, what was it? Or was it just because they wanted to shoot? I think that's the most frustrating part. Why? It's the why.
Because of the personal involvement it became with the family, it just has a more emotional attachment than any case I've got.
The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office and Crime Stoppers of Tampa Bay believe someone knows who shot David Neel. If you have information, contact Crime Stoppers of Tampa Bay at 1-800-873-TIPS. You will remain anonymous and can be eligible for a reward. On behalf of the Neel family, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and Crime Stoppers of Tampa Bay, thank you.